Hi, this is part 2 of the final exam review. If you notice, this is a special product because if you notice, this is a square root of 6, so is this. And this is a minus 2 and that's a plus 2. And if you remember from the special product a squared minus b squared, that these two values cancel. So the inner outer of the product cancel. Okay? That leaves you with square root of 6 times square root of 6, which is 6. And negative 2 times positive 2, which is negative 4, and so your final answer here is simply 2. And goes in. Question number 12, rationalize the denominator. So here's a trick I'm going to give you. So we know that we're going to multiply both top and bottom by the positive, in this case, the opposite sign, the conjugate basically. So you have 8 plus square root of 3 times 8 minus square root of 3. Again, a special product, and if you notice, this is 8 times 8, which is 64, right? 8 times 8 is 64, and square root of 3 times square root of 3 is going to give you negative 3 for a total of 61. So we already know that the answer choices are either going to be this one or this one, just based on that. Now the other little hint that I'm going to give you is that 8 times 5 is obviously 40, and well, they don't even ask you to distribute, so if you notice you have 5 times 8 plus square root of 3, hello, there you go. And that's your answer choice. Okay. Alright, number 13, it says solve for x squared minus 2x equal to 8. What I would do in this case is I would subtract the 8 and bring it on this side. So you would have now x squared minus 2x minus 8, and now I would just simply factor. So if I factor this, I would have to ask what times what would give me an x squared. So obviously x times x is x squared. And I'm going to use a 4 and a 2 where I have a negative 4 and a positive 2. If you notice, your answer choices in this case would have to be B, because if I solve or set both of these to 0, this would have to be x is equal to 4, and this would have to be x is equal to negative 2. So they're always the opposite side. Alright, number 14. In number 14, again, solve for x. So it's really a factoring question. It's really about factoring. And so if you factor this out, you would subtract the 9x and subtract the 18 and bring it to this side. So I would subtract the 9x and subtract the 18 on this side. So this side cancels, and now you have 2x squared minus 5x minus 18. And so you begin by factoring what two values would give me, in this case, a 2x squared, so obviously a 2x and an x. Okay, and then lastly, what would give me a negative 18 but a positive 5? So I would need possibly a 9 and a 2. So if you think about it, 9x minus 4x would work if that's a negative and that's a positive, right? Remember, this is a negative 18, so it has to be a plus-minus situation in terms of the factors. So negative 9 times positive 2, that definitely gives you a negative 18, and we need a negative 5x, so negative 9x plus 4x will definitely give us a negative 5x in the middle. So the factors are going to be negative 2 for this side. If I set that to 0 and I solve, x is negative 2. And same thing for this one, this will become positive 9 over 2. Final answer choice here should be answer choice A. Okay, and for 15, it's the same process. What you're going to do in this case, let me just get myself some room. So in this case, you're going to do, we're going to move out the x squared, which is common to all terms. That's a prime 5, I wouldn't touch that. So if I factor out x squared, this is going to leave me 8x squared minus 18x minus 5. And now I'm factoring this out, and I'm thinking to myself, well, what would give me an 8x squared would give me a negative 5 prime factor. So this one's a little toughy. So let's see. If I go ahead and I just focus on this part in the trinomial, leaving the x squared out here, I know that this has to be a 5 and a 1, guaranteed. That is a guaranteed answer there. And then the next question would become, am I using a 4 and a 2? If I use 4 and I use 2, Let's see, that's going to give me, that would work actually, because if this is this is a positive 2x minus 5, and this is a 4x plus 1, notice that this is going to give me negative 20 plus 2, which gives me the negative 18. This product gives me 8x squared, and this product gives me negative 5. So my solutions are negative 1 over 4 and positive 5 over 2. So answer choice A. Now, number 16, find the slope of the line determined by the point. So you have, remember the slope of an equation is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and that gives you the slope. So the first thing I would do is label, this is your x, this is your y, and this is your x2, this is your y2. So now just literally substitute it in. So I have negative 5 minus 2 over 5 minus 3. So this is negative 7 over, looks like 8. And for number 16, your answer choice should be E. For 17, for the slope to be perpendicular to this, we first need to find what the slope is. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to re-express this as 3y is equal to negative 4x minus 6. And I'm going to divide by 3 on all three terms. So I have my new equation is y equals negative 4/3 x minus 2. So for this to be the negative reciprocal, it has to be the opposite sign, so positive, and flip 3 over 4. So for that to be true, your answer choice should be A. Now, for this to be parallel, it has to be the same slope. For it to be perpendicular, it's a negative reciprocal. So in this case, I do the same process where I have negative 6y is equal to negative 2x plus 8. I'm going to divide by negative 6 on all three terms. And this leaves me with positive y equals 1/3 x, or x over 3, equal to, or I'm sorry, not equal to, negative, minus 4/3. I'm reducing that, so that becomes 4 over 3. And so 1/3 is your, positive 1/3 is your slope, so answer choice A would have to be your answer. Now for this one, you can almost tell already what the answer is because of the way that the equation is set up, and if you've done enough practice in my math lab, you will know, or Alex, you will know. So if I solve for x, or for y in this one, first thing I'm going to do is subtract negative 2y equals negative 3x plus 6. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I have negative 3y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. And I'm going to divide by negative 2 on all three terms. Over here, I'm going to divide by negative 3 on all three terms. So this will cancel, leave me y equals 3 over 2x minus 3. And over here, this will cancel. This will leave me y equals 2/3 x minus 2. You notice the slopes are opposite sides, but let's see. For 19, the answer would be neither. They're not. Yes, they are reciprocals, but they're not the opposite sign. Remember, for it to be a reciprocal for perpendicular, it has to be the negative reciprocal. Okay, so that means that if I have an 3 over 2 slope, the negative reciprocal will have to be negative 2/3. Okay, in this case, what's missing? It's missing the negative, so it can't be. Alright, and then which of the following is the graph of 4x plus 4y, 3x plus 4y equal to 12? Now you notice 3 and 4 both divide into 12, so you can use their intercepts. So if x is 0, we'll make this 0, then y has to be 3. If y is 0, and now we look at x has to be 4. So this has to be the answer here. Alright, and so basically what you're doing is you're saying 3 times 0 plus 4 times y is equal to 12, the only way that's true is if y is equal to 3 and x is 0. Well, that's this point here. Right? And then the opposite end, if you have 3x plus 4 times 0 equals 12, then x has to be 4. That's this choice here. Okay? I'll stop here. I'll do 21 to 30 in a separate video.